Welcome to Sandwich Chamber Presents, a program that showcases the members of the Sandwich Chamber of Commerce. In this program, we are sitting with members of the Sandwich Realtors Scholarship Fund. My name is Joe Arnao. I am a realtor with William Ravis Real Estate. With me, I have Chris Chalk, also a real estate agent with William Ravis Real Estate. I have Sandy Tompkins to my right with the realtor. She's a realtor manager with Jack Conway, and Walt Tayo, who is realtor with Century 21. Welcome, everybody.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Now, tell us about Sandwich Realtors Scholarship Fund. I believe, Chris, you were one of the founding members.
I was, and Sandy was. There was just a small group of us, but the idea came from some brainstorming that I did with a woman who's no longer with us. Her name was Maureen Walk. It was a very exciting bud of an idea that we took out to the realtors, and we've had such great support from everybody in the community, realtors, retailers, etc. But the idea was to give away a scholarship, and we wanted to get the kids to understand where they come from. So we thought that this might have an impact on what they would do. So we created the well, we call it Supporting Higher Education, for promoting the history, both social and architectural, for the town of Sandwich, and that kind of says it all.
So how does that mission get accomplished through the scholarship and the kids?
Well, it's changed. The format's changed over the year. We had a little help from one of the teachers at Sandwich High in going from the traditional way that we always did a report in high school back in our generation. Boomers understand this. To the way that the kids work today, the way that they find information, and we've changed to allow them to shine. And boy, don't they. Some of these scholarships, they're just incredible. Some of the ideas. I'll give you, for instance, one of my favorites, and this one is just, to me, is so sweet. A girl stationed herself at Otis Air Force Base, but it wasn't called that back then when she was there, in any event. And she was writing letters home to her mother about a house she had fallen in love with. It was the Isaiah Jones house. And in a series of letters, she told the story of the history of the people that had lived there and the architecture of the house. And she did that by going to the archives and finding out everything she could from the house. She took pictures, but it was just such a nice way to present it. A very personal way to present. And she won for her year.
And the project was actually those letters? Those letters,
yeah. Yeah.
Great. So just to back up a little bit, explain to me what is the scholarship? What is it that they have to do, and how do the students go about?
Sandy, do you want to?
They all have to present a way to describe a house. They have to go to the archives. They have to search the history of the house, which is really, really important. And as realtors, we look at that as an important piece tying to this Realtor Scholarship Fund. We want them to be able to search the history of Sandwich, so to speak. So however they want to present it is fine. Present it in letters, present it with a PowerPoint presentation. Some people have done songs. They're very innovative. The children are very, very innovative in presenting it. But it's good for them to be able to research the history of homes in the oldest town on Cape Cod and come forth with an understanding of the forefathers and the people who have made this town what it is, and also understand about the history of houses and how they've evolved, and certain ones have been added onto, and other ones, for instance, the church in the village where we had our very first, which became the Doll Museum and then became a private residence. It gave them an opportunity to look at the history of how that has evolved from what was one of the first churches in town and then became a private residence. And it's very interesting for them to see.
And that student, I believe, did a wonderful pencil drawing of the property as part of the project.
Gorgeous.
And that hangs at the Century 21.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah. It is amazing.
The students do fabulous work. They really do. It's an opportunity for them to show a side of them that you wouldn't necessarily see in your average scholarship application. We ask them to go a step further, which sometimes we may think inhibits our number of students that apply for our loans or our scholarships, but we do ask something of them, which others don't. So.
And we're building memories, because what I get from parents when they are, working with, they are actually working with the kids and they're learning. They're talking around the dinner table about things that they've learned, and it's kind of exciting because it's going out through the generations. And right now we're asking them to choose one of 10 properties. At the beginning of the season, at the beginning of the fall, all the realtors brainstorm which properties we'd like to present or have them present on. So we've chosen 10, and we try to target different areas of town. We don't want them all downtown, and that can be kind of difficult because the majority of our antiques are downtown. But keeping in mind that these kids live in different areas of the town, we want them to feel comfortable and feel like there's something there for them to explore.
When there are historic homes all the way up and down 6A and up onto Cotuit Road.
Yeah, absolutely.
That are out there.
And all the way to Forestdale.
That's
There
right.
There are some great old houses out in Forestdale,
The old
too.
schoolhouse is out there.
Right.
Right? There's
So
a lot of history all around town.
And that's the one other thing we do is we remove something from the list if it's had a report done on it, and then we add something else. So the same house doesn't get done over and over and over again, because that's sort of easy for some of the houses in the village.
So we'll refer to this again, but for this list, where do students go? And actually in
srsf.org.
srsf.org.
That's our website. Everything is on that website. And Walt Tayo has been a gem in keeping that updated and together for us, because that's a lot of information that passes through there. You'll go and see all of the previous winners. Walt, you've spent a lot of time on there.
Well, I think it's important because we try to get the word out about this scholarship. And last year, as an example, when we had the judging going on, we had 3 gentlemen who were architects and engineers, historians from the town, and their mind was boggled when we told them we were giving out $3,000 scholarships. Now, this is a relatively small organization. We do one fundraiser a year, and although we had a bang-up time last year.
Oh, we're going to bang it up
We
this
have
year,
fun.
too.
That's what it's all about.
We made enough money last year to give out $3,000 scholarships. We hope to repeat that. If necessary, we'll try to give out more. This is a not-for-profit organization, and it's important to recognize that. We try to hang on to a little bit of money just to allow us to function as a group. But the website right now, the application for 2012 isn't quite in there yet, because we don't know whether we're going to have 1, 2, 3, how many scholarships or whatever. But please just take a look at the website,
srsf.org.
srsf.org, and all of our pictures and names and contact information is on there. If you don't like any of us, you can always contact one of your local Sandwich Realtors. They all know about this program. Matter of fact, they all go to the party. So please do.
Speaking of the party, what's the event?
The event is the Moonlight Masquerade, and it's going to be held on the 28th of October. If you want to go to it, it's $25 a head. We have an auction of many items. I think we had well over 100 items last year.
About 110.
We have the Moonlighters Band,
Rock and
which
roll.
is rock and roll.
Lots of fun.
Lots of fun. Great fun band.
For those of you that remember the 50s, oh, I'm sorry, I'm the only one. It's one heck of a good night.
Great food.
Oh, absolutely.
Wonderful food, hors d'oeuvres, of course, pay-as-you-go alcohol, but...
And there's lots of paying as they go.
But the Aqua Grill has really treated us
Aqua Grill is
very well.
Yes.
They've made it a great time. They've helped us make it a great time.
And we also have mediums.
We do have mediums, yes. We have mediums that come and tell you what your fortune may be for the next year. Hopefully they'll tell everybody they're having good fortune for the next year. But I do want to go back to the Aqua Grill for a moment, because they do close for us. So it's not a function where you come and, people are having dinner around you. The whole place is ours, which I think is really, really fabulous. I think you know, they do a wonderful job for us. Their food is fabulous, and they open their restaurant just to us for that one night. So, so we can accommodate lots and lots of people, so you all have to come.
And it is costumes are optional. Correct?
Costumes are optional. I think one of the, it's not really a Halloween event. It's more of a, I don't know, let's think of it as a New Orleans masquerade party. So it's a little more adult than Halloween. But we certainly love costumes, and we certainly have had some fabulous costumes the last few years. Some very interesting ones, and you'll have to come to see.
And last year we did have, we gave out a prize. There was a prize for the best
I was just going to say,
costumes.
and now we're doing top 3 prizes, and I think we gave $100, $75, and $50,
right?
Or whatever.
Right.
But we will
but it
do
is
that
fun.
again. Oh yeah,
It's great.
I think the other thing is if people want to see what goes on at this function, they can look at the pictures from last year. If they go to the website, you go down the left-hand column to where it says Twitter or Facebook. I forget which where the pictures
Facebook,
are.
yeah.
Facebook, which Joe has
Joe has put them all up on the web. Everybody can come take a look at and see the fun people that were there.
And so auction items are one way. You also have, I say we. I say can
you're
I?
a big part of this, Joe.
We also have a book that goes out that a lot of people advertise in.
Yes. Yeah, and it's a great place. Well, this wouldn't be possible. All the money that we've made would not be possible without all the support we've had from all of the retailers and shops around town, services, and we ask them to come out and support us again. And they can do that in a couple different ways. You know, whether an auction item is the appropriate thing for them to offer, or gift certificate for a service, or if they want to take a page out in the book. Gee, we should have had one here on the table. It's a very professional-looking publication, and they tend to hang around for a while, and it's just a good place to have your name. And
Shout out to CalStar for doing the printing on that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
One of the nice things about this is, as professionals, realtors, we all work together to get this done, and it really brings the community together as a real estate community, which is nice.
We do all work together, and that booklet is a really awesome way to get some advertising at a very reasonable price, no matter what your business is. I mean, you can just, we've got lots of advertisers actually, and they do a fabulous job, and the booklet is beautiful. It's done really, really nice. And all the auction items, that over 100 auction, it's a silent auction, by the way. It's not a live auction, so you get to sneak in and write your name next to something and outbid someone who desperately wants what you want. I remember we had a picture a couple years ago that a couple people kept bidding against each other, and it went quite well. It went quite high, which was very nice.
It can get quite emotional.
Yes, it can.
So over the years, we've raised, I shouldn't say, yes, how much has this raised, Sandwich Real Estate Scholarship Fund?
I think we've given away $24,000.
Nice.
To, I believe we had 12 different winners, and it's, you know, it started out with one winner for $1,000, and it's just worked its way up. It was Mr. Frank from the high school, the history teacher, who challenged us to offer a little bit more, that maybe we would get the attention of the kids and then would have more submissions. We generally only get 7 or 8. We'd love to see more kids take hold of this, although the ones that do, you know, make it all worthwhile. But if we can give away another $3,000 to 3 kids this year, we will do it.
Who is eligible?
Any high school senior, and it doesn't make any, from Sandwich, and it doesn't make any difference what high school they go to. Any of the high schools on the Cape, any of the private schools, but all they have to be a senior. They have to be graduating in June of 2012, and they can also be homeschooled.
Okay, great.
As long as they are graduating in 2012 and a Sandwich resident, and that's it. And we need as much participation as we can get. Last year we had 7 students who...
These are pretty good odds, huh?
Pretty good odds you're going to be winning, absolutely.
Darn good odds of, that's almost 50% of the people that came, but we'd love to see more. We've got a lot of time on our hands to make the judges work.
And who makes up the judging community? Who are the judges?
We have, well, Grattan Gill comes to mind because he's been on from the very first year. He's a local architect. Then we have a couple of historians, Jonathan Leonard and Bill.
Was it Russell Lovell on?
Russ Lovell had been on for a few years, Katha McGuire. And originally we had started out with just the judging committee being an impartial third party. But we realized that the realtors are a part of this and we need to be represented also. So we also have a judging panel. I think we had a judging panel of 6 this year, where we had 3 realtors and 3 historian architects. So it's everybody looks at these projects with a very different eye, and it's interesting to hear the comments from a historian as opposed to an architect in relation to whatever project they're doing. So that's I think that's a unique piece of how we come to a winner. It's not just one person's decision. And
so once they win, there's a ceremony, a breakfast, or what's
yes,
that about?
And actually this last year we had the opportunity to have our breakfast at the upstairs at the town hall, the newly refurbished town hall, which I think is absolutely fabulous. And it was really, really special for the kids because sometimes they don't get an opportunity to get into a building like the town hall and go upstairs. So the breakfast I thought was fabulous. I mean, and it was really nice to see the 3 who won be presented, and their families were there. The families always come, and it was just really, really nice.
Nice. How many realtors does it take to get this done?
oh gosh, all of us, everybody out there.
Well, actually, one of the things we do too is on our weekly tours, on Wednesday mornings, we have our weekly multiple listing tours. So the realtors get together on Wednesday mornings. And we do ask that all the realtors drop $1 into the hat. So the realtors, every realtor who is selling real estate in Sandwich is a participant in this. I mean, we don't just get from the community, we actually contribute ourselves. Every week it's $1 from each one of them. And that goes into our kitty, our fundraising kitty too. So that's a piece of it. So how many realtors?
Quite a few. And the event coming up on October 28th is not just realtors, it's open to the whole community.
Everybody.
Everybody.
And it is a strong mix of the whole town that comes out, and people from outside of the town come down for it.
Absolutely, but the way that we've worked it out is from each office in Sandwich, there are 2 people that work on the committee, the Realtor Committee, and that's been pretty consistent, so that there's some kind of representation from each office. So those 2 people bring back all the information to their offices, and we even provide auction item. We do a basket challenge, and we create a basket within each office, and it's been fun over the years to see how that's grown. And we're competitive people. It's gotten a little bit competitive.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So.
Which is to the benefit of the winners
Absolutely.
of those baskets, because they do often contain quite a bit of stuff, and they get a great deal on,
Nice.
on
It
some
took
great
2 or
items.
3 people to bring in some of those baskets last year.
And then helping people carry them out, too.
I think it's important to recognize all of the realtors, because when it comes time to throwing the function, we have almost 20, 25 people up there helping us set up to get the party going, whether they stay a half an hour, or whether they stay the full period of time that we're there. Doesn't make any difference. We get a lot of participation from the realtors, and of course we get a lot of participation at the party.
And that night too, the Boy Scouts even jump in on
Yeah,
that.
that's
right?
right. I forgot that. The
That's
Boy
fun.
Scouts jump in and they do all the pumpkins. They carve all the pumpkins, which are put out in front of the Aqua Grill on the stairs. And it's quite an event for them, and we really appreciate their help also.
Yeah, they've been great. We need to get the Girl Scouts in on that, though.
Ah, yes, a
That's
little
right.
challenge.
There you go.
Exactly.
Throw that up. That's right. Very good. So
I think it's also important we plug the Cape Cod 5. And that's where we hold all of our weekly meetings.
that's right.
And they sponsor this thing, and it's very nice of them to work at it.
We've had a lot of sponsors. We actually have had, aside from them,
Yes, we've
Sovereign, their community bank, the Cape Cod Cooperative, TD Bank, but not just banks. It's all members of the retail and service industry.
It really is amazing how much of the community comes out for this event,
Yeah.
and supports us.
Yeah.
When you go through that line and looking at all the auction items, it is a slice of sandwich,
Yes.
and it's quite nice to see so many people coming out and doing all that.
Yeah, between
And
the
helping
auction
us.
items and the book, the advertising book, it's quite powerful.
And not only is this just this event and a little bit of work for the students and giving them some money, but all the work that they're doing goes to the library, the archives. So now these projects become part of the living history of Sandwich, which is great. We went through the other day and we found some of the older projects.
Yep. Yep. You know, anybody's able to go down and look at them. Actually, when we started this, we had the case down in the library for the first few years where we did a display, a presentation, and they put together a book, which was very helpful. And so for a month, they were all out and open on display so people could go in and look at them. But then from there, they go into the archives. And it's kind of interesting how the reports themselves have evolved from the, you know, paper to a PowerPoint presentation. So it's a little different to try to go in and see. So you'll be better likely to find the older reports at the archives, although there will be PowerPoint presentations, and if you have time to see those too, that's, again, it's all the fabric of our history in Sandwich.
There's a great project there now that was one of the winners that did a report on the Haddad building, which is now a topic for discussion with the Chamber and trying to utilize that building. And it gave great history of it. And during the town meeting, when the building came up as a topic to either be sold or to be whatever was going to happen with it, the student got up and basically presented her report to fight for saving that building. So it was very cool to see the kids that involved with the community.
Absolutely.
And that is a step to get them involved with the community too. I mean, for all the kids, but the ones who specifically did projects, it does get them more involved. They look at Sandwich with different eyes now. They drive around the village and they know something about the history, which is really important.
It's empowering.
You know, it's very good.
And I think what one of the winners of this past year in 2011, found out some history that the archives did not know. By looking at the shadows of the buildings, he determined that there was a building on one of the lots, it was a former farm, that the archives did not know about. So now he actually added knowledge to the archives. So it's pretty amazing what's going on.
Yeah, a fresh eye, how they interpret things.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. All right, so we're about to wrap up, but I'd just like to, give me some of your what's your favorite part of doing this, Walt?
Well, I have a personal thing. I love the idea that students are out there. I just feel that we need to get more and more of the students involved in making presentations. We don't care how many there are, but I think that's my favorite part, is seeing the kids have the chance at getting a scholarship, and also seeing the work that they do, which is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, from my day, I remember myself back in high school, I think that I don't know whether I would have been capable of doing some of the work that they do today. And it's just fantastic. I love the kids part of it.
That's great. Sandy?
My favorite part, well, we all know that I like to party.
Yes.
So, I guess my favorite part is when we all get to the end of it and we can all dance crazily with the music and enjoy the evening. I'm thrilled that we do it. I'm thrilled that we actually get to have a party and we all get together as a community and enjoy each other's company, because quite frankly in these times it's nice to be able to let loose and just have a good time and enjoy each other's company.
Absolutely. Chris?
And I would pretty much paraphrase that, and especially in these times, I think we've all seen changes. Everybody is seeing changes, but this has been one constant, and it is for the better good. And I think being a part of that and being able to work on something that has some meaning and some lasting, it's been a great effort. So all of it, I love all of it.
Yeah, good, good. So the 28th of October, and it's always that Friday,
Last Friday
that
of
last
October.
Friday of October. This year it's the 28th. It's going to be at the Aqua Grill. All they have to do is, if you want to go, is find a local realtor and get a ticket. It's going to be a great time, as always.
Get your tickets early.
Get them early, because they
Yeah.
can't sell out.
Yeah.
Because,
They
you
can't
know,
sell
if we
out.
sell out, then
Yeah.
So-
you won't get to come.
Yeah,
Yep,
we
and
do-
if you want to advertise in the booklet or give an auction item, that has to be done before October 15th. So again, SRSF is the best point of information.
And for the kids, we're on Facebook as well. Get involved early. Again, it's open to all Sandwich residents who are high school students graduating, going to college. So get involved. It's a great time. Well, thank you all very much for joining us here.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank you
having
very
us.
much.
Thank you for joining us on Sandwich Chamber Presents. You can see this on the local channel, or you can go to sandwichtv.org and watch it at your leisure. Thank you.